Welcome to Reddit Reader. What screams, I'm way richer than I look? Unique or somewhat odd collections of things most people don't collect. I worked in a high-end whiskey store for many years, and the number of shabbily dressed men from overseas who strode in to spend $5,000-$10,000 on whiskey for their collection was staggering. They were always chatty, knowledgeable, and above all casual. One man in particular had been collecting for decades. His wife was fully supportive. She had her own collection of rare items, he implied, and he enjoyed traveling the world to pick them up as an excuse to go someplace. Conversations often went like this. Customer, I see from your website you have the rare bottling from 1967. Do you have any in stock now? Me, we do, yes. It's downstairs. In fact, we have a few of that vintage, as well as the 1953, 1966, and 1972. Would you like to know the prices? Customer, oh, great. I think that fills a couple of gaps in my collection. And if not, the guys and my wife will enjoy cracking one open. Can you package them up for me, please? Me, would you like to know how much they are, sir? Customer, can you ship them all to my place? In fact, if you have discounts for bulk items, I'd like to know what other vintages you have, and so on. I went to dinner with a girlfriend and her parents. After we ate, the owner came out and asked how the meal was, and then we left without a bill ever coming to the table. On the way home, I asked girlfriend about it, and she said her dad had tabs at all the restaurants he liked to eat at. As we were leaving, the valet brought the cars around, and I mentioned I liked his Tahoe. I asked what year it was, and he kind of laughed and said, whatever is the newest one. I didn't know he owned a car dealership in another city. I work at a luxury resort. People call to book rooms with me all day, and they aren't cheap. I can tell when it's obvious a young couple who had to scrape together the dough for the cheapest room. But every once in a while, I'll get a call from someone who casually calls and asks to book the biggest room without asking for the price. They know exactly what they want, and the price means nothing to them. $2,500 a night? No biggie. Here is my card number. I had reason to frequent a small but popular marina at a certain Gulf Coast city. I encountered one old man often enough that we greeted each other with random chit-chat. Lovely gentleman. He wore a crumpled old hat, a grease-spotted t-shirt, cut-off jeans, and worn deck shoes. He always puttered around the largest yacht in the marina, about 60 feet long. He would polish the chrome, wash the deck, clean the life preservers. I didn't assume he was the maintenance guy because he had such self-confidence. I never saw him actually take it out. I got up the nerve to ask security who he was. He owned the most commercial real estate in the city. I represented a guy who is rich. I mean as in filthy, owns buildings, plural, in Manhattan. I was in-house counsel to his company. So one day, he comes to my office and tells me he needs me to go to a meeting with him across town and about 30 blocks north. He tells me to wait, he has to get the car. So I am standing on the street, and he pulls up in the company van that his employees use for building maintenance to carry stuff to renovate spaces for new tenants, etc. It's pretty crappy. On the way, I asked him why he was driving this. All things considered, he was an older, self-made guy who was pretty down to earth. Why the van? He said obviously he could drive or take a cab, years before Uber, but why bother? In Manhattan, most spaces in Midtown on down are parking for commercial vehicles only, and parking a car can be pricey. The van had commercial plates, so he could pretty much park in front of wherever he was going. Why waste money on a cab or parking a car? Couldn't argue with that. We parked right in front of the building. Don't forget to like this video if you liked it, dislike if you disliked it, and subscribe so you don't miss our next upload.